Hello everyone, Nuvosaurus here, and welcome back to my creative world. Now, I realize there has been a lack of videos recently, over the past couple weeks. Um, Primarily I've just been busy, but last week I actually planned on releasing this video, and I didn't just because of the attack on Paris. I really didn't think it was appropriate to release any videos then, so I just kind of remained quiet. But this week I wanted to show off some progress that I've made on SkittleBits over here. So first off, the CPU itself has been completely overhauled. There's the old model over there. Nothing too terribly much other than just some architectural changes to the ALU. A lot of wiring has been cleaned up. The flag register has been completely redesigned. And then the general purpose registers over here has been repurposed. While it used to be a register and B register, temp register, program counter, and stack pointer, it is now a B, and C register, a temporary register, and then an address location port. We'll get to that in a sec. Secondly, the control circuit has been compressed drastically. For comparison, there's the old control circuitry. It's also been given a lot more functions to take care of. So on top of its original functions of the move instructions and then of course various arithmetic logic functions, it now also does control. So it can set and reset various flags and bits. For example, here are a couple that it can control. It has interrupt masks to take care of. We've got the SOD bit that it takes care of. And then of course it can also set and reset the carry flag that's used for other instructions. And overall, I really like the way this turned out. Another change that's taken place is the addressing registers have been moved out of the system entirely. Where the program counter and stack pointer were included in the CPU, they have been moved to their own piece of circuitry, and 2 extra registers have been added. Now the reason why I did this was so that I could expand the address bus a little bit. While the previous address bus was 8-bit, making for a grand total of 256 memory locations, this one is 16 bits wide, making for a grand total of 65,536 memory locations. Now, controlling it is incredibly simple for the CPU to do. There are 4 bits that run from the CPU to the control circuitry, and they are these 4 bits. We have the latch, the address select bits, and then the selection between pre-inc and post-decrement. And now what that does is when you select certain registers, the address is instantly sent over to the buffer register. Now the only time that it actually gets through is when you latch everything. And then of course when you latch it, it writes whatever's presented there to the buffer register and then to the out port. But what it also does is it latches the registers back here. And so what there's a feedback system with a incrementer decrementer, and so what happens is when you latch it, you can latch the address and automatically increment or decrement it. Now the pre and post portion of this means that you can actually take the address before it's incremented or after it's been decremented. And so that just makes it easy for things like incrementing the program counter after each instruction fetch, or incrementing or decrementing the stack pointer after each push and pop instruction. And of course, reading and writing data to this piece of circuitry is also incredibly simple, but it must be done 8 bits at a time, or 1 byte at a time. So the way that's done is, of course, with these 4 bits here, you first have to enable the circuitry, and that's done through a port instruction. Then you can send it the information of the register that you want to access. There are 4 registers, so you only need to give it 2 bits. Then from there you can either read the data that is stored for 1 byte at a time, or you can write new data into that register 1 byte at a time. So if I haven't mentioned this already, I'll mention this again. The whole purpose of this CPU is just to see how small and powerful I can make a CPU. And so to keep everything small but still versatile, a lot of the data necessary to run the CPU has already been encrypted in the opcode. And so what this allows me to do is essentially run one opcode per instruction. Now there are some instructions that will require multiple opcodes, and those will be put in their own special group called multi-byte instructions. But for all intents and purposes, 75% of the instructions can be done with a single opcode. So the way all this works is extremely simple. The top two bits here are actually what tell the computer what function it's running. So 00 is going to be a move instruction. 01 is actually going to be an ALU or arithmetic logic function. 10 is a control function, and 11 is a multi-byte instruction. Now depending on what those first two bits are, the next 6 bits will do different things. So for a move instruction, the lowest 3 bits will represent the source of the read-write function, and then the next 3 bits will represent the destination of the read-write function. And so what that means is you can choose from one of 8 locations from where you're writing to and where you're reading from. And of course those 8 locations will be written on the screen for you. As far as arithmetic logic functions are concerned, the source bits over here will do exactly as they did before. They will choose the source of the second operand of any arithmetic logic function. However, the destination pins will actually serve as the function selection for the ALU. This means that you can only select one of 8 functions, as opposed to my previous model, which was one of 16 functions, and those functions will be listed on the screen for you to see. Now that does mean you can't select 2 different bytes from 2 different registers for the 2 different operands of an equation. The first operand will always be the A register, and the destination will always be the A register. The only thing you can choose is the source of the second operand. That's what these bits do. And then as far as the control group is concerned, these 6 bits will do various different things. The only thing that I can tell you really is this bit will choose between a set and a reset, and these 5 bits will select what it is we're setting or resetting. And then when those 2 bits over here are 1, 1, when we actually select a multi-byte instruction, this whole system actually won't do anything because it's a multi-byte instruction. So what those will actually do is it'll enable a decoder, which I have yet to build, over here, and it will essentially bypass the opcode register over here and take whatever is in the decoder over here, which will be one of those previous 3 sets of instructions, put it over here, and then the computer will then perform those instructions. The reason for this is because even though a lot of these instructions can get incredibly complicated, they can really be broken down into those 3 core sets of instructions, really just move, arithmetic logic, and control. So without further ado, let's go ahead and demonstrate some opcode, shall we? So here we're going to be moving from the I/O port to the A register, the data located on the I/O port over here. And of course, when I clock it, we should see the data being loaded into the A register. Here we're moving into the B register, the data located on the I/O port over here. And here we're performing an addition between the A and B register. Here we're incrementing what's in the A register. And finally, we'll be performing an AND operation between A and B. And finally, just to demonstrate some of the control operations, here we'll be resetting the carry flag. And lastly, here we'll be setting the SOD pin. And that's everything that I wanted to show you, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. Obviously there's a lot still that needs to be done, but I'm really liking the way it's turned out. My hopes is that I can try and keep it around this size if possible. Any bigger and I don't know if it'd be worth it really. But yeah, so hopefully, like I said, you guys enjoyed, and I can't wait to release this thing. And yeah, that said, hopefully I should have a video being released next week, so keep an eye out for that. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!